Alright guys, what is up? Ioki here, bringing you some patch notes for, this is patch 919. Good grief, we're finally here. It's the Worlds patch. Similar to our philosophy for last year's Worlds, we've been making steady changes throughout the last patches as to not completely throw everything in flux and have the pros invalidate whatever playbooks they've been developing for the most exciting event of the year. See, this is where they're wrong because the most exciting event of the year is anytime I stream at twitch.tv/Ioki. Link down in the description. More than completely neutralizing the top priority picks, we've been working on elevating more champions to competitive viability and are continuing that work in 919. So this is the Worlds patch, guys. The change process has resulted in smaller buffs or a couple of impactful nerfs across a slew of champions and more pro-focused changes that should even out the scales and create fun, diverse, and impactful picks for the next few weeks of Worlds games. So this is actually one of the bigger patches from what I've seen. So up first, Aatrox. It wouldn't be a patch notes video without Aatrox and Akali making an appearance. So minion damage reduction decreased. We overnerfed Aatrox in 919. Honestly, I've really enjoyed these past 2 weeks not having Aatrox in my games. That being said, I don't think this will make too big of a difference. I don't think we'll be seeing him too much in solo queue. R2 max damage increase. We've also overnerfed Akali in 918. With her ultimate now sufficiently negated, we're returning some of the damage. Okay. Still don't think this is going to put her back into anything, into a lot of solo queue games, so I'm fine with that. This is the first interesting thing I've seen. They buffed Annie, and she's like actually good now. She's good as a support. Obviously, I haven't seen her in mid, but she's got legitimate like playmaking potential without having to use her flash ult now with her E. So this really surprises me that they're really doubling down on that and not only making the speed better, the movement speed increase better, but also lowering the cooldown. This also encourages you to put points into your E. I still don't think you'll be maxing E even as a support, even as like a roam heavy support. This is just kind of like a bonus. You'll still be maxing E last. This is just nicer to put it on lower cooldown. Ashe! Incoming Korean Ashe support videos, boys. I love when Ashe gets buffed. I love this champion. Passive slow increase, Q now, and auto attack reset. Okay, huge shout out to Riot in modernizing these champions. The things that they've done to Malphite, like where they're not doing like a full VGU update, but they are like modernizing the champion to add, just adding things like auto attack resets on his W. They're doing the same thing to Ashe now. So now you can auto Q and boom boom. It just feels like it's a really nice, easy way to modernize an out of date binary champion with a simple kit. So now it's an auto attack reset, and we've got a little more slow, just a little bit more on her Q. But yeah, definitely going to be playing Ashe as a support now. Blitzcrank. Now this is probably the biggest change of the entire patch. Blitz is the hook and should always be even as we release other champions who just happen to have hooks in their abilities alongside other things. I love this change. Honestly, I could definitely see this overloading him. He could be a little overtuned now. But I like to see I love how much love Riot has given Blitzcrank this season. He has gotten a weird, very strange amount of attention this season. Someone on the Riot team must love this champion as much as I do. And it's good to see them kind of like doubling down on his identity as the longest hook champion. Because all the other hook champions, things like Thresh, Nautilus, Pyke, they've all bring things other than the hook. If you're playing Blitzcrank and you miss your hook, you are done. You don't contribute anything. You're going to get kited around. It's a super long cooldown, so really doubling down on his hook is really, really nice. I haven't played this. I will be playing this. On paper, this looks like a really big increase in distance. There's 100 movement units. That seems like a lot. So think back to the last time you played Blitzcrank, and remember the last time he just barely missed your hook and how devastating it would have been if he landed that. Like, could have changed the team fight, could have changed the game. Now he's going to be landing them. This feels a little less relevant. Most of the time, you're queuing, you're auto-Eing, and those are your two marks. I don't see, unless you're building like a troll build, top lane or something, like a bruiser Blitzcrank, it usually doesn't matter if you get 3 marks or 2 marks of the passive electricity. It's cool. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. He's had like 2 reworks this season. He's now increasing the length of his hook. A+ work with Blitzcrank. Let's hope this doesn't overtune him. I'm excited to play it. Fiora. Q can now hit turrets and wards. E2 can now crit turrets. I am so upset that they're buffing this champion. This champion is so like hilariously unfun to play against in solo queue. She scales so fast. The outplay potential always feels like it's in her favor. Like she has to mess up her riposte or else she's going to kill you. Anyways, I don't like this change. Gragas, W cooldown increased, damage ratio decreased. Gragas has been dominating the pro meta for a while, so I don't see a lot of solo queue Gragases. Ironically, I saw one today in my Masters game, but outside of that, I really don't see a lot of Gragas. So this is just one of those unfortunate changes for Gragas players where, welcome to the your champion got nerfed because of pro play club. But it doesn't look like it's too much. It doesn't seem like they're absolutely gutting them. They are gutting a champion though. Stay tuned to find out who. You probably have an idea. Graves, base attack damage increased, rounding out some other base stats. Okay, so I see people actually getting upset about these. This is not something to get upset about. This is they're rounding out numbers so that like if they create a new item, the numbers are clean and easy to implement. Like they don't have to take into consideration. It's rounding out their back end on a coding and programming end. They didn't take a look at Graves and be like, you know what, he needs 3.5 more health. But AD, yeah, that is a tiny buff. Heimerdinger. Q and R, turret AP ratio increased. E stun duration increased. Buffing Heimerdinger all around since he's on the weaker side. I don't know, Riot. I played against a Heimerdinger in the bot lane earlier. Heimerdinger Zyra in Master Tier Elo, and I have never been less happy about that. So I don't really think he's super on the weak side, and I really don't think buffing 3 things at once is a very good idea. But, it's your guys' game. Karma, AP ratio decrease. This is huge. You're losing like a third of your damage. That's actually really, really bad. Nerfing Karma's non-support damage so she isn't so strong as a blind pick generalist. Teams will now have to consider losing a considerable amount of damage if they want to pick her. Ouch. This seems really harsh. 60% to 40%, that seems really, really harsh. I don't understand. I don't see a lot of Karmas. I didn't really consider a problematic pick, but rough. Mordekaiser. W shield from damage dealt increase. Spectators can now see champions in the Death Realm as spirits. Oh, that's just a bug. W shield from damage dealt increased. I kind of feel bad for Mordekaiser mains. I'm a fan of the champion design. I think he's way more readable. I think he's got a simpler, better defined kit than he used to have. But I've seen a lot of Mordekaiser mains really not playing him anymore and saying that he feels nothing like the old one. He's bad. He's boring. Feels bad. I feel like I've got the unpopular opinion that they actually did pretty well with that rework. That being said, when he came out, he was really overtuned, so I would hate to see that return. 30% to 35% is not too bad. Orianna. This is one of those we want Orianna plays that played in Worlds. 50 damage is a lot. Plus they're increasing the AP ratio. Wow. Yeah, this is a lot. Hope you guys enjoy getting one shot by Orianna. Ornn. Free masterwork upgrades happened earlier. That's good. I like that. Because this is a really unique part of Ornn. Something new that he brings to the table without like... It's not like the Certainly T type of new, where it's like, oh, it's so unique, but it's like unfun to play against. This is like a legitimately unique, cool idea brought to League of Legends. The whole like he can craft your items and upgrade them without being completely unfun to play against. Like no one plays against Ornn and is like, oh no, he upgraded their Masterworks item. That's so cancer, nerf that champion. I've just always liked this, and to see it like put it in a spot where it's actually might affect more games is nice to see. I like the change. Pantheon, base magic resist decrease. W and power damage now scales. More follow-up post-release on the Strongman. Alright, so little less tanky against AP matchups. And now he deals total damage. Oh, so they lowered it initially though. Honestly, I think the only problem with the new Pantheon is his E. I think it's really unhealthy. But they seem to think it's his W. Rek'Sai, base armor increased. Unburrowed Q now works on turrets. What? You can knock up turrets? We're making Rek'Sai auto attacks work the way players expect them to with some more durability. Okay. So minor buff to Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai, unburrowed Q now works on turrets. Okay, so that's not really that big of a change, honestly. I think Rek'Sai is pretty interesting to play with and against, honestly. I would like to see her in more solo queue games. I'm okay with this. Riven. Ha! The good old release a Riven skin alongside a Riven buff. Q cooldown increased. E cooldown decreased. Our last few Riven changes didn't hit the results we were looking for, disproportionately weakening the players who are newer to her and don't have the same level of familiarity. We're trying again by reverting her back to her pre-9.9 state and having a simpler nerf to her E instead. So, I want to point out one thing. This is not a nerf. If they are comparing it to the change that they initially made, that's a different argument, but saying we're adding a simpler nerf to her E instead, that's not a nerf. You're lowering the cooldown on her E. I think you need a little more clarity when you're writing these write-ups. But this is obviously an overall buff to Riven. Q is infinitely more important in her kit than her E. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. The champion is still incredibly present at higher elos and doesn't seem to have that as big of like a skill gate as many people try to say, but whatever. They have skins to sell to their 10-cent overlords. Alright, passive damage ratio flattens. Sejuani's damage is very high when considering all the utility she has, especially in pro play, while nerfing... Wow, they really don't want this champion in pro play. Feels bad for Sejuani mains. Sion, W base. Shield increase. Sion is unusually weak in skilled play. High elo, silver 1. We're buffing his on-demand shielding since this is more helpful in higher level play. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. Silas, base armor and armor. Wouldn't be a patch notes without a Kali, Aatrox, and Silas. I'm not even reading that. I'm so sick of seeing Silas buffs. Or I'm so sick of seeing Silas changes. E's gray health heal now skills. Tahm is one of the best chances for protecting teammates from being picked off by enemies, and he should therefore be more vulnerable to poke. Oh, okay. So it's better late, but it's way worse early. That's good. I like that. Twist of Fate. E attack speed increased. Base damage increased. He's better in the matchups that favor him, but that preserves his existing vulnerabilities to ranged champions. I'm okay with that too. Good change. R base AD increased. Ugh. 15 AD is a lot to give, my guy. That's a lot to give late game. Bad change. Veigar, E cooldown decreased later. Despite Veigar's scaling nature, his contributions to teamfight struggle to keep pace with what's necessary in the late game, so we're buffing the ability that helps out the most in those situations. Ironically, this is probably a targeted buff to mid lane Veigar, but this helps support Veigar more than anything, since you typically max E first or second. Xin Zhao, passive base heal increased, Q base damage increased later. Xin could use some love after the Sculler change to decrease his early game power also value, so we're helping out. Okay. I mean, it's not insane. It's a decent change. This is the gut I was talking about earlier. Look at this change. Look at this change. Q slow strength now flattened. Duration decreased. No longer decays over time. Oh my god. Rest in peace, this 44% win rate champion. Rest. Can we get some Ioki cat faces in chat? Rest it. Rip Yuumi, dude. Rip Yuumi. Prowling projectile from 20, 32, 44, 56, 68, 80 to 20%, and it falls off faster. Oh my god. Rest in peace, this champion. Okay, so the only shining glimmer, if you guys are watching this and you play Yuumi, the one bit of good news that we do have is that Riot, I don't know why they didn't include it here, but they did say that they're purely are doing this to keep her out of Worlds. And after Worlds, maybe 1 or 2 patches after Worlds, they're going to take another look at her and put some power back into her. So expect buffs, But this kills the cat. Alinity style. Zach, Bloblets restore more health. With more value in his Bloblets, Zach should be able to Zach should be able to scale better into late game and feel more satisfaction in this unique part of his kit. Bloblets restore an additional 1, 2, 3% max health. Wow. I never really considered Zach as scaling that poorly. He brings so much to team fights and he's already so unkillable, but okay. Yeah, it's not gonna make or break the champion. Items. We've removed the from some items. Good prioritization of your time, Riot. Really good stuff. Black Cleaver. No longer the Black Cleaver. The Black Spear. No longer the. Bloodthirster. Dark Seal. Hex Core. They took it off of Dark Seal? I always thought it made sense on this item since you can't stack these items. So it actually made sense for it to be the Dark Seal. Anyways, bug fixes. Fix the bug where Ultimate Hunter would not reduce Kale's cooldown. Fix the bug where Rakan's self-only R marker would display in Spectator. Okay, these are all... Okay. Nothing too bad. As for the skins, we got Hextech Amumu. Actually, this actually looks really, really clean. They should have made him cry diamonds, though. That would have been cool. Whoopsies. We got Majestic, Empress, Morgana, Splendid Staff, Nami, Valiant Sword, Riven. Riven buff on the same patch as Riven skin. Championship Rise, and then Prestige Riven. So, honestly, yeah, Rip Yuumi is the very first comment. Honestly, pretty big patch. Some good changes, some not so good. Would love to know you guys' thoughts down in the comments. Take it easy, guys, and enjoy Worlds if you're a nerd and you watch that kind of stuff. Peace.